Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey Peterson, and for my final capstone project, I shadowed my bosses, both Lori Grant and Tammy Miles. They are the managers at the Sparrow Carson Laboratory. And throughout this presentation, I will be giving you information on my shadow from Lori and Tammy. I will be discussing who Sparrow is, their mission, a bit of the SWOT analysis from the company, the laboratory in general, competitive advantages, questions that I asked, the use of technology, what I learned, what I liked most, what I found challenging, and a reflection on my experience in the degree program. So throughout my shadow, I saw Lori Grant, our director of ancillary services, and the laboratory manager. She oversees the laboratory, diagnostic imaging, and cardiopulmonary. So I thought Lori would be a great person to shadow since she does oversee so many different departments in the hospital. I wanted to see if she ran them the same or different, their similarities and their differences. And then I also shadowed Tammy Miles, who is our laboratory supervisor, and got to see and get into her brain a little bit about her leadership role. So Sparrow Health Systems are located all over mid-Michigan. They are the largest healthcare system. They are diverse in a range of facilities from Lansing, Sparrow Lansing, which is our huge area, and then we have smaller doctor's offices in Stanton, Michigan, Carson City, Ashley, Greenville. The community hospitals are Clinton Memorial, which is located in St. John's. We have Ionia Hospital, Carson City Hospital. We also have urgent cares, rehabilitation centers, and insurance companies. Here is a picture of my wonderful managers. This is Tammy and Lori. They are wonderful women and great leaders. It's important to me to be able to say I can look up to these women. They're like mothers to me and have taught me a lot, and it was wonderful following them around for a couple of days and seeing just what they do in their everyday roles of leaders. This is our spiral pyramid that we discuss before every single meeting. It's hung all over the hospital and in the laboratory. As you can see, our patient is at the top of the pyramid. The patient's needs always come first. Then we have caregivers, our vision, our mission, and our values. So, a mission is the purpose of the company, what the company strives to do. And here at Sparrow, it is important to have a mission that states just what we do every single day, and that is to improve the health of the people in our communities by providing quality, compassionate care to everyone, every time, and to be nationally recognized as leaders in quality and customer service. So, our book tells us that vision is the articulation of a company's desired achievements or future state. And at Sparrow, our vision is finding new ways to improve the quality of health services. We also have eye care values, which are innovation, compassion, accountability, respect, and excellence. And I'm going to delve into that a little bit further. So, innovation is finding new ways to improve the quality of our health services. Compassion is providing radical, loving care for everyone. Accountability is accepting responsibility for our actions and attitude. Respect is valuing diversity, inclusions, and working well together. And then excellence is achieving the best results in all we do. Now, each of these are broken down at our yearly evaluation and given a score for how an individual caregiver shows these different values. So there's a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And when I was talking with Lori, she had these for each department, all of the laboratory, cardio, and imaging. But I wanted to talk specifically about the laboratory SWOT and break that down a little bit. So the lab accomplishments, we've had new testing platforms for RSV, influenza, blood, and system standardization. So we just recently got new ways to perform these testing, and we've accomplished them very well. We've gone through the hurdles of learning the new processes and implementing them. Some of our goals is to revise procedures, implement new blood gas instruments, and get CAP accreditation. So with that, we are learning millions of new things every single day so that we can get accreditation that we need to run the hospital. And they have lots of new rules and regulations that we must abide by that are different from what we already are accredited with. So we're learning those. We're wanting to improve on that and then get our new blood gas machine up and running and make sure that all of our procedures are in one area and that we're following those procedures. Some of the barriers are IT resources are needed. There's a decline in the laboratory volume, and we need the provider support. We were seeing lots of patients, and all of a sudden we had a decline, which happens with everybody. You know, people stop getting sick, which is a good thing. There's always those people that are sick, obviously, but we're here to help them get better, and that's apparently what we were doing. We saw a decline. And then improve our IT support and our physician awareness, educating them on the testing and the best practices. Because we are changing things so often, we need to make sure that our physicians are up to date on those and knowing how to run these different tests and that they are supporting what we come up with. So we look at the department goals and we want to improve patient and caregiver satisfaction. Let both know that their opinions count and give opportunities for development. Weekly, we give a survey to our patients and get the feedback in return to make sure that we are constantly giving them the best health care that we can. And then making sure that our caregivers are satisfied as well. There's a caregiver engagement survey, and then those results are looked at as well and made sure that we're happy and that we are able to do our jobs correctly. Like I said, the lab accreditation and changing the way we do work, health system standardization. Right now, there are dozens of Sparrow hospitals, and we want to make sure that when you go into one, you see the same results at every single one. It might run a little bit differently, but you want to make sure you're going from Sparrow Hospital to Sparrow Hospital and seeing things ran smoothly and ran generally in the same manner. And then giving caregivers more responsibility with projects and accreditation process. So our leaders are giving us more opportunities to get projects done and help with this lab accreditation, and we can see just what our lab managers do every single day. By doing this, they're making us part of the improvement, which is really nice to see. So one of the questions that I asked Lori is, how is quality and success measured at Sparrow? And she said quality is looked at with testing that is performed daily, weekly, and monthly. We look at different things that we do throughout the hospital on these different bases. So double checking orders from patients is something that we do every single day to make sure that the patient has every test done that they needed, and so that they're not having to come back and that we're giving them quality care every time. And then monthly we check on the transfusions to make sure that we did the correct transfusions and how many we've done, and just that the quality is there. Also monitoring turnaround time for the ER to make sure that we are giving them fast results, quick results. They're not waiting 3 hours on urgent matter. And then reliable services to our patients. We don't want our patients waiting in the ER for an hour and a half not having results. So making sure that we have an hour turnaround time is something that we are dedicated to doing, and we've done a wonderful job with that. Blood culture contamination rates are done quarterly. We look at both the volume and the contamination, and that is given to us at our monthly meetings quarterly. The volume has to be between 8 and 10 mLs, and then the contamination rate has to be under 3%, both of which we are doing excellently. And then also training and education, making sure everyone is up to date on both procedures, and making sure that they're put into place in red. So I also asked how is success measured at Sparrow. She told me that harmony within the department and making sure that they're working together, positive and productive work ethics, achieving our goals and improving on what we need to, and then of course customer and caregiver satisfaction. These all are what makes us successful. Making sure that we can work well together and that we're happy, and that that the caregivers are happy as well as the customers is what it's all about. And I really liked that answer. It makes us successful when everybody's happy and able to do their jobs productively. So I talked to Lori about how we communicate the mission internally, and I know that we voice this at the start of every meeting and we go over it, but I also wondered what she thought about it, and she said to make sure that our actions and decisions are supported by the mission. Anything that we want to implement into the Sparrow Health systems, we want to make sure that it is targeting who our mission supports, which is our customers, our patients. Checks in on all caregivers to make sure that the mission is being followed, and then putting patients first and putting themselves in patients' shoes. You want to be treated how you would want your family members to be treated, so you want to treat your patients that way, and that is what our mission is all about, making sure that they have quality, compassionate care every time and that we are giving that to them. And Tammy said to me, we need to remember why we're here, and that is to provide for our patients, which I really like to hear that. Technology is used every single day at Sparrow Health Systems, and especially in the lab. No longer have orders on a paper note that your doctor gives you. It is now all through the computer system, and then when your results are done, it's put into the computer and sent right directly to them before you probably even walk out the door. We use Outlook Explorer for email. Technology is used in our computers, machines, and security. The software we use are Epic, Soft, LifePoint, Lawson, Citrix, and Microsoft Office. Internet is internally hosted, and we use hardware, software, and networks are used within the Sparrow systems. So I wanted to know what some of our top challenges were in Sparrow in the laboratories. And Lori told me that getting everyone on the same page from hospital to hospital standardization is pretty difficult. Like I stated earlier, we want to make sure that we're all Sparrow. Ionia, Clinton, Carson, we're all Sparrow. So we want to try to give our patients the same care every single time at every single hospital. So standardizing that is something that's difficult because they are set up so differently, but we are all Sparrow, so we need to make sure we're all on the same page. And then one of our other challenges is obviously our competition, which are Spectrum Health, the privately owned healthcare, which we have right here in Carson, which can be competition, and then Mid-Michigan Healthcare. When Lori told me that obviously one of our threats is our competition. I asked her, how can we stand out from our competitors? And she told me that our dedication to excellent services is something that she really thinks makes us stand out. We are in a rural community, and we get to know our patients when we interact with them, and we see them every single day, or, I do see people twice a week, the same patients, and we get to know them, and the small town feel allows us to focus on our patient and make them feel important. The personal interaction with our patient makes them feel welcomed and important. Constantly receiving excellent feedback from our patients. On a weekly basis, we get a patient survey, and they're monitored, and we are constantly receiving excellent to great feedback from them. And our dedication to excellent service helps us achieve that. So what did I learn? I learned how often SWOT is discussed in all areas of the hospital, and I didn't realize that before. Lori gave me a printout of the SWOT for all departments that she manages, and that was cool to see. A large amount of information is done behind the scenes, and I got to learn about that. I see Lori does things every single day. She's constantly out of the office, and I'm not sure why, but when I followed her around, I got to see exactly what she does, and that was really nice to see. I like to see how we can improve on things and what we're doing about this to improve, how goals are planned and implemented, how we follow through with these plans, and then all that's going into this CAP accreditation. That's a huge part of leadership. They are doing so many things. Lori and Tammy both. They aren't even able to get their everyday work done because they're focused so much on this. So seeing how they handled that was really cool to me, and I learned the focus and dedication it took on both ends. So through my capstone project, I learned how everything comes together. I got to follow my managers around to see how things get done every single day. Some of the things that were lows for me were I was very overwhelmed with all the information I got from both the course as well as from Lori and Tammy. It was very informative, all of it was, but it was also very overwhelming, lots of information coming in. It was also hard to find time to get this interview done. I followed her around several times throughout the day and then one full day. So I did get to do a lot and see a lot with her, which was great. But it was also hard breaking that into different increments. And then putting all of my notes together, everything I'd learned. But it was great, and I got to see all the things I learned. It was fun. So, throughout this degree program, what can I say? I loved it. I love the flexibility, how it made me more dedicated. It was informative. I had to set myself down and do the homework and be disciplined in doing it. But in the end, it was all worth it. It helped me to think about Christ more in my workplace and in my everyday life, which I wasn't doing as often as I should have. And these courses really helped me to bring God more into my life, both in the workplace and at home. I also learned so much about leadership and business and my own place of work. I got to do projects throughout these courses, and I always use Sparrow because it was easy to get information from, and I got to learn more about my company that I work for. So I had people in different areas of leadership help me with these projects, and now they're constantly asking me, hey, how did your project go? And that's really great to feel like supported by these people and that they really do care and they helped me, and it was nice, and now I know more information about the organization. I recognize all that goes into business. I learned a lot of information, and it's not an easy course at all. Some of my favorite courses were learning how to deal with conflict. I'm obviously still learning that, but I can't wait to learn more about it and improve on that. Strategic management, values and ethics. leadership, and management. Those are all some of my favorites throughout this degree program. So I wanted to leave you all with a little something. Nelson Mandela said it always seems impossible until it's done. Well, guess what, everybody? We are done. We've made it. Congratulations. It's awesome to take this journey with you, and I can't wait to see where the next road takes us all.